All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back with more Game of Thrones Season 7, rewatching and reviewing everything in this season to lead us up to the last final season, Season 8, that will be premiering this Sunday. Right now we're doing Episode 2. It is called Stormborn. Full spoilers if you haven't seen the episode, I just realized that when this first came out, I did review them, and I'm going to probably erase them because I think the audio is really terrible on them. Plus, nobody watched them, but then again, probably nobody will probably watch this either. But not nobody. Some of you will. It's been one of those days. So passive aggressive might be. If you notice any passive aggressiveness, I apologize right now. So I was trying to think about Season 2 best and favorites, and I'm gonna have to try to rack my brain while I'm doing this review because I can't. Season 2 is kind of probably the season that I like the least. And I read the books by this time. I read all the way through. I'd probably read everything by now, by the time second season came out. And between don't get me wrong, the book was amazing. And the show was good too. It's favorite moments though, it's just kind of there's a ton of them, so I'm going to try to there's the battle. I mean, on a technical level and everything, one of the best moments, of course, is the Battle of Blackwater Bay. But I try not to be that obvious with it. So I'll have to try to think on that and maybe do that tomorrow and put that with the third season stuff. Because season 2, I don't know. Favorite probably has to do with, anything with Arya and Tywin Lannister. That everything in that was probably my favorite stuff. I think on season 2, I think that's the best stuff is Tywin and Arya. Just and that question of did he know? Did he know? The same as when you ask in season 2, did when Littlefinger goes to Tywin and you think that he saw Arya. I don't know. That was probably my favorite. I don't know if it's the best. When you say what's the best moment of season 2, I mean, I don't know. That one will definitely need some thought on. But let's talk about Stormborn. All right. So yeah, and if you don't know why I'm talking about season 2, it's because I was gonna do a best of Game of Thrones, and so that didn't work out. So each episode before the review, I was gonna try to list my favorite or best moments from the correlating season leading up to season 8. So should have probably explained that. Why people are probably why is he talking about fucking season 2? Okay, back on track. So anyway, this is again just so jam-packed, but we're gonna hit the main points here and in rewatching. And what I love here is I'm not always the biggest Emilia Clarke fan. Daenerys is a great character. She has definitely changed quite a bit since the beginning. And since we no longer have the books to go after, everything to me, in this season and kind of last season is all fan fiction almost. I hope that so much of this is not in the book. I hope so much of this, and not that it's bad. I just, I kind of don't want to read what I already saw. It'd be the first time, you'd almost say, if you didn't know that George was already writing it and didn't already have a plan, you'd swear that then the show could take credit for the books. But her dealing with Varys here in this first scene, I really, really dig, because Emilia Clarke, like I said, I'm not always the biggest fan of hers. I think she's a great Daenerys, but anything else has not been too good. If you like her work, I appreciate that. I respect that. I don't agree with you. But as Daenerys, she's been pretty good. And in this particular episode, she's really good. Her questioning of Varys is really, really fantastic. And even though I love Varys, it's a smart play, because of who he is, and everybody has a story and everybody's butting heads. I mean, everybody's still so many of us, we all know that Tyrion's awesome, but the rest of Westeros still thinks he's a piece of shit Lannister. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to listen to this sometimes knowing come on, Daenerys, Varys is cool, but I mean, she only knows the version of Varys that she's known. The guy, the spider, and the guy, that was kind of behind, the hit squad put out on her through Robert Baratheon, but, still, he carried out the orders, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I love this scene because he and her, neither of them back down. They're just both really honest. And for Varys, who, isn't always the most honest person, some pure honesty from two people is really, really kind of awesome. And both Emilia Clarke and the guy who plays Varys, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. He is in my top 5 of favorite characters probably. And so seeing this kind of tete-a-tete, and just the meeting of the minds, which we have even bigger form later, is really, really cool. This also leads up to Daenerys meeting Melisandre. Now, Melisandre, again, is also one of my favorite characters. And I think I just always go for my favorite characters are always kind of the dark horse characters. My absolute favorite character, is well, okay, my favorite character is Arya. Okay? But the best characters are always Littlefinger, Varys, Melisandre, Davos. I really kind of latch onto the side characters like a pit bull, man. I love our main characters, but our side characters, man, our main characters would be nothing without some of these side characters. And Melisandre is one of them, and I love her. And Carice Van Houten, oh my God, please. If there was any justice in this world, there would be a knock at my door right now, and it would be her standing there to marry me, because that woman is... And her as Melisandre is fantastic. She's really, I thought she was just going to be this one-note character, but she's really gone through some changes herself. And once we found out that everything is just a mirage and that she's really this old crone-looking lady, it gave her more depth, because now every time she talks, I see the old woman. I see past the mirage, and I love it. I love it so much. But in this scene, they timed it just so... We're giving out pardons. First Varys, and then, oh, here comes Melisandre all of a sudden, ready for her pardon. But look, there's nobody in this, what was that? There's a line from a movie or something recently that I heard. Yeah, it was from when I was watching Road to Perdition. And I mean, when Paul Newman says, there's nobody but murderers here. That's what I think of when I think of a room full of Westerosi people kind of being pissed at each other for the things that they've done to each other. It's kind of like that. It's yeah, well, I did this, but you did that, and you did that, so don't get mad at me for doing this because you did this. Everybody's guilty. Everybody's a sinner in this, and I just love it, but they still get pissed at each other. They should all be going, you know what? We should really be teaming up. We should have teamed up sooner because, get the bad guys together. We could have taken this whole thing out a lot quicker. But Melisandre, is welcome there because the Red Priests and Meereen and all that stuff that has to do with Daenerys. So again, Melisandre has, fortunately picked the side that is favorable to Daenerys. Now, whether or not this is going to change when Jon Snow arrives with Davos later, I don't know. I can't remember all the details, so it's kind of good that I'm rewatching this beforehand so I can get into context. Because I don't think I rewatched any of... I think maybe I rewatched season 7 once, but it was immediately after it was over. I think I binged it really fast all the way through. let's see, what else do we have here? So, then we have them all meeting up with Dorne, but like, yeah, Sansa and Jon get the message from Daenerys saying, hey, come on, they don't know if they should trust it. Everybody's thinking it's a trap. I mean, everybody in the North, anytime they get an invitation at this point, for the rest of time, they're going to go, is it a trap? Is it a trap? Is it a trap? I mean, they're kind of like, they're perpetually paranoid now because of the Red Wedding. Like, people are going to go, hey, you know what? Like, let's not invite the North because they're just going to be all freaked out the whole time. It's going to make everybody uncomfortable because they're going to think that they're going to get killed at every party they go to. Everybody's going to be like making sure they can see the door and everything. Like every party that they go to, it's just like, if you want them to come, you're going to have to like show up with like, I don't know, like you're going to have to do some great gesture to get the North to ever trust you to go anywhere. But that's the big thing is, should Jon go? And Sansa doesn't think he should, but we all know he should because that's where the dragon glass is. Which then becomes very convenient when at that meeting later they go, oh, guess what? Sam Tarley's message arrived at the exact right time. Wow, it's like magic. The thing that you needed to know that would get you to Dragonstone suddenly arrives at around the same time? Kooky. I mean, these are the things, like I said, we have to turn our brain off a little bit for these last couple of seasons for moments like this. But it's fine. No need to get our panties in a collective twist over it. You know what I mean? It just moves the story along. So this gets Jon to Dragonstone quicker. Like in other shows, they might have it might be 3 or 4 fucking episodes down the road before Jon finally ends up in Dragonstone. And in this show, the way it used to go with the 10 episodes and everything, you would take Jon Snow probably 3 seasons to get to Dragonstone the way this show used to move. So I guess we should kind of be happy about the time jumps or the non-mentioning of time being jumped or how much time is being jumped, whatever. But yeah, Jon decides to go and leave Sansa, shut her up, put her in. Sansa's never been one of my favorite characters, but yeah, he gave her the seat while he's gone. Keep the seat warm for me, Sansa, I'll be back. And then Littlefinger. Okay, so we've talked about Littlefinger in the last one where I'm not happy how they've handled his character in this last season and everything that led up to it, because Littlefinger would never just confront Jon Snow like that. After he sees how things are going, he would not just ingratiate himself in front of Jon Snow by himself, not knowing that this plan, this ruse would work. That would not be how Littlefinger would have approached the situation. He came to Jon by himself, knowing what his history is with him. He is way smarter than this. Way, way, way smarter than this. This whole way that it's like they didn't know what to do with him. Well, now that he's kind of at this place and they owe him, they're not going to kill him, but I literally don't think they knew what to do with him anymore. And I think that what they should have done is it just said, you got to get the fuck out of here, dude. Okay? Thank you for your help. We're going to take the army and then send him on his ass all by himself. And say, you know what, how we thank you. We thank you by letting you live. And then the character could have gone off and done some crazy shit somewhere else. But it's like they just forgot how the character really would behave. And he wouldn't behave this stupidly. He wouldn't be putting this big a target on his back, and he wouldn't be whining to Sansa every 2 seconds. Because I know that the character is just fundamentally smarter than this. So I feel like they wrote themselves in a corner with Littlefinger. We have Arya, who is making her way to King's Landing still until she meets Hot Pie, which was nice to see him back. I like that she just takes the food. Who's this for? Oh, I don't fucking care. Just starts eating it. But this is where we get our little exposition for Arya, who finds out that the Boltons are no longer in charge of Winterfell. Jon's king of the North. Everything's all good. And so we part ways with Hot Pie, and Arya ends up in the woods where she is reunited with Nymeria. And it was a really cool moment. It is a moment that I hoped would happen, and it didn't go the way I wanted it, though, because Nymeria leaves Arya after she says, "Come back with me," and she says, "That's not you." And I know that there's different ways to take it. I think that I take it as Nymeria is somebody else, and so is Arya, and Nymeria can't go home any more than probably Arya should, or maybe, I don't know. Something about, I feel like it's definitely got to do with the paths that they've both taken. Even if she is just a wolf, she has definitely not, different than where she came, or when she started. And at this point, she can't go back now. And I think that's some sort of correlation for Arya's character. A little heavy-handed maybe, but that's fine. I did think that the special effect was really good with all the wolves. Even the big-ass direwolf, I really like that. And it really is something for Arya here. And I know this show doesn't give us what we want most of the time, but I really need Arya to get out of this somewhat. I figure she's going to be scathed, but, let's just have it be like, minor scathing. Maybe lose an arm or a leg or something. And I can handle, just not the whole thing. Just can't handle that. Samwell and Jorah Mormont. Now, I love the way that they pair up characters on this show. It is so fucking awesome. This is the perfect pairing. One of the most perfect pairings of necessity, as well as just being cool, is that. And this is one of the hardest scenes, to sit there and watch, but it's awesome that Sam's taking care of the grayscale. And it was so uncomfortable to watch just because you had to think about, I didn't have to think about it, but I dwelled on what it would be like to have that happen to you and what it would feel like coming off. And my imagination really took over because, oh, fuck, man. Oh, God. I bend my fingernail and backwards a little bit, and I'm losing my mind. So this, I'd have passed out. I'd have passed the fuck out, man. But so what about it? Apparently, and great imagery of going into the pie afterwards. We kind of talked about this before, but we're going back to it now. But let's quickly just say, Grey Worm and Missandei, knock boots. Missandei is another beautiful woman on this show, and I know that I'm supposed to take more meaning out of it than I did, but I couldn't help it. Sorry. There's nothing else for me to say other than damn. Good for Grey Worm. But then we have the meeting where Alana Tyrell, and we have everybody else, the Dorne people, which, again, we'll talk about Dorne. I feel like that is another thing that they really mishandled. But they all have a meeting. They all make their plans. And so Tyrion plans to take Casterly Rock with the Unsullied, while the Dorne and everybody else go after King's Landing. So they set up their plans right off the bat. Because I got to get clipping wrong here. So then we have Jaime and Daenerys and Cersei dealing with Samwell Tarly's dad and brother, Dickon, the guy from the Umbrella Academy, Space Boy. Boom. Now I know where I knew him from. Not that he lasts long. That's probably why I forgot about him. But and the other thing I was watching when I was watching this was when Nikolai Coster is up there playing Jaime Lannister. I was just like, God damn, is that a good-looking man? I am straight as an arrow, but that is a good-looking man. Holy shit. Oh, man. Sorry. It's just like, I think he's better looking than Cersei, and they're twins, right? I'm sorry. He is just a man. I feel like I am I'm digging myself a hole here. But anyway, that whole thing, they're just manipulating and trying to get people on their side. It's all pathetic. Samwell Tarly and his brother and his father or whatever, Dickon and his father, Tarly, they're very uninteresting characters. They weren't interesting when Sam went home. They're not interesting now. So I really don't care what happens to them later. And then the final thing really here is... What is the final thing here that I'm forgetting? Forgetting something. But anyway, I think then if that's the case, I know I'm forgetting something huge probably. But yeah, that's it. So anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. I know, I just went off the rails there at the end. I had a thought and then I lost it and now I can't get it back. But anyway, yeah, the fight at the end. Yeah, the goddamn boats. There we go. Sorry, everybody. Again, it's been a long day, and I'm trying to keep all this shit straight in my head. The big boat fight thing, it's really impressive looking, but it's just kind of like, again, everything is falling apart really quickly. And I guess it's fine, because they kind of have to move fast for, like, you know, there's only 7 episodes here and 6 in the real final part of the season, so... Dude jumping in the water, I mean, what else did you expect from him? And the Sand Sisters, nobody liked them, but I liked them. I liked them. The one girl was from Iron Fist. She, Julie Mao, and, or Julie Wing, something like that. And then you had the other one that was from something else. I don't know. But the fight scene was really good. The guy who plays Euron really owns it. He is having a blast. And yeah, there goes their fucking ships. So there's that. So, you know, like I said, I think Cersei is like the most dangerous person in the show right now. And she's already proving it. Even if she doesn't have allies, she does know how to think. And so now we are actually done. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. Comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Interview saying, sorry for this review coming off the rails there at the end. But... we'll do better next time. So have a great night. We will see you later.